Welcome back to another Pokemon Professor review. We now have Chikorita joining our Pokemon party to help us talk about number lines. Now, number lines, you have worked with them since probably first grade, maybe even kindergarten. Your teacher would have them posted along the ceiling of your room, or they might have had them on your desk, and you've been looking at number lines forever. But now we're going to take a more in-depth look at these number lines. Now, there are certain characteristics of these number lines that must be true. If these characteristics are not true, you do not have a number line. For starters, this number line is in fact a line. That means it goes on to infinity in both directions. If it does not go on to infinity in both directions, you don't really have a number line. You might have a number line segment or another piece of a number line, but a number line will go in both directions to infinity. Now, the other thing that's important about a number line is that number lines are equally broken up. They have equal pieces. So the distance between tick marks needs to be the same amount. Now, what that amount is depends on your number line. Okay? For example, if you are measuring something small, you might use tick marks that are very close together, and the distance between them could be 1 millimeter. But if you're measuring something very big, maybe these tick marks would span 3 feet, like a yard. So as long as the distance between every single tick mark is the same, it does not matter what that measurement is, as long as the distance between tick marks is the same. Now, a couple other things you'll learn that are very important about number lines. While a number line, because it's an infinite in both directions, doesn't technically have a middle, a lot of times we will write 0 as the middle of our number line. It's not really the middle of our number line. Instead, 0 marks an important turning point on a number line. On one side of the number line, you have the positive direction. On the other side of the number line, you have the negative direction. And a standard number line to the right of 0, we'll do like 1, 2, 3, and to the left of 0, -1, -2, -3. And this is a very standard number line. However, it is not the only number line. So let me illustrate this by doing something called double number lines. And in this case, I am going to be solving our equations that we did earlier. Let's start with the addition equation, x plus 2 equals 6. And to do this, I am going to use double number lines. On this first number line, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to put 0 to the left. I don't need to worry so much about the negative number line at this point, or the negative side of the number line. And I'm going to put a second number line underneath it. And this is also going to be 0. But it's actually going to be 0x. This is our x number line, and this is our normal or traditional number line. So on the traditional number line, I'll mark 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And out here, I'll mark the same intervals, but here, this is not 6. What is it? Well, it is what 6 is equal to. So because our equation says that x plus 2 equals 6 at the same location as 6 on our number line, we have x plus 2. Now, the question is, where's x? If this is x plus 2, where is x? Well, if this is x plus 2, this is saying that this position is 2 units to the right of x. So if I go back 2 units, if I go 2 units to the left, this is where I would end up with x. Now, what does x match up with now? X equals 4. And if you remember from our equations video, that's what we got. So, number lines written in different ways can help us solve equations. Let's do 1 or 2 more. Let's come back up here. And now, I'm going to have to extend these number lines. Now we'll do x minus 2 equals 6. So this is x minus 2. X minus 2 equals 6. So now we are 2 units behind x, or to the left of x. So to get back to x, I need to go 2 units to the right. And when I do, that lines up, that tells me where x is, and x corresponds to 8, which is the same answer we got in our equation. Now, just to make sure we understand how this works so hopefully this helps explain how it works for addition and subtraction. Multiplication and division can be a little bit different. So for multiplication and division, I'm actually going to get rid of these tick marks, and instead I'm going to do more of a blank number line. So we had 2x equals 6. So I'm going to come out here and I'm going to say this is the location of 6. And I know I didn't make tick marks all the way through, but it's okay. Because the better you understand number lines, the less you need to put in every single tick mark. And now out here, I'm going to put 2x. So 2x corresponds to 6. Now, from here, since I know this is 2x, I should be able to say, hey, wait a minute. If I know this is 0x and I know this is 2x, I can go halfway between these two values, and this is where x is located. And so if I do the same thing up here, I can go halfway in between. And what's halfway between 0 and 6? 3. And x corresponds to 3. So leaving out all those extra tick marks allowed me to create a different type of number line that instead of counting by 1s, it's counting by 3s. Okay, last one. X divided by 2. So now, I am saying that 6 corresponds to x divided by 2, which means this is half of x. So from 0 to here is only half an x. So if I was to go out further, out to here, I would have 1/2 x, 1/2 x, which would make a whole x. So if I double this distance away from 0x, I'll end up with x. So let me do the same thing up here. I'm going to double this distance. And if I double 6, I get 12. So now up here, I've created a number line that counts by 6's. And here I'm counting by half x's. And so my final answer is x is the same as 12. So this is our first look. I don't know, you should have looked at double number lines in order to solve one-step equations early on. So hopefully this is a great review of that process, a great review of what a number line is. We are going to be combining these number lines in the next video. So not just as double number lines, but as a new form. So make sure you come back for that video.